There we go. What's good, y'all? Let's get into it. So I need to make content on here. So hold on a second. We'll stop it being. Oh shit! No, it's 5 o'clock. One second. Just 1 second. Forgot. Didn't realize what time it was. That took too long than that. Okay, let's get it here. This video is going to be like reacting to this video I didn't know he dropped a month or two ago. Eric Dubay. Great video. Nuclear weapons of mass destruction and the myth behind it. He starts in at a great point, and breaks it and just gets right into it. I don't know if he does. I only watched like a little bit at the beginning a while ago inside and said, I got to go make a video about this. Something else we got to talk about. They keep, they'll nuke you. The Jews will nuke you. This country's going to nuke us. They're developing nukes in Iran. But Israel has nukes and we can't talk about it. That's crazy. So let's get right into it. Because this crap goes back a day later. I'm sorry. I'll go try to get it dealt with again. But let's just get into it. Nukes. The threat of nukes. Like, you know what I mean? He went off on all that shit. So maybe we'll play some more of his videos here. Folks. And if I've met this guy, I think he's come around in a few Flat Earth Lives, and I've seen him there, but I don't know if he really does that. I think he sticks in his lane. He's got continuous views. I'd like to watch that one. I'll watch a few more after, and then, of course, we'll doom scroll Instagram and Facebook and see what we can find. We'll discuss what's on there and why it's trending. We're just a non-biased sort. I don't know, very biased over here, but here we're just looking at it, at all this. Why, it's crazy. But anyway, and then oh god, he did that. Should we save the spider? Should we save the fly or spare the spider? I think I know where he's going with that. Do we need to eat other animals to survive? Is that part of the lie too? That's probably, you know what I mean? Should we die or should the deer die so we can live? Something I've never understood that bothers me till this day is thou shalt not kill, but we have to kill or our body shuts down and dies. Clearly, he gave us fruit, so we didn't have to do that, but this attachment to meat, I don't know. Then you got this spiritual Stockholm syndrome. I don't even know. Whoa, we got to do that one because we're Oklahoma. We might do a separate thing, the Oklahoma bombing conspiracy. Just need to get this stuff out of here. Oh, shit. What I could do is just let that play for a minute along with what's coming in so we can get the title to show up on the website. Let's 3 months ago, I'm behind, brother, but nice to see you're still getting consistent traffic.
We've helped thousands of veterans.
Me, I kind of go all over the videos. There's some where you can hear what I'm saying clearly. Unless I didn't realize I mumbled halfway through or my voice is worn out from screaming at demons. And I don't know. If you could help me train my voice.
Get making 10K or more a month without spending 4 years in college. And here's how. Hello.
Violent to a.
Let's see. I went right where I started in the house. Same channel. Let's go. Now I'm going to mute up as we watch this video. I'll pause it and maybe give commentary, but I like to try to just play the video and comment afterwards. But let's watch this. Eric Dubay made a great point here, and other people have been saying it. There's even documentation by government officials trying to make this, trying to blow the whistle that they're scaring us with something that don't exist or may not even be harmful or whatever. We live in a container. So if nukes were that real, we live in a terrarium, right? So if nukes were real, if they were that big of a deal every time, that would spread everywhere. So the nukes in Chernobyl would spread, and all the other Bikini Atoll and all that would hit the dome and then spread out. Like, stop playing with me. Like, we're in an enclosed system, folks. Let's see. I don't know.
Are nuclear bombs truly weapons of mass destruction, or are they really just weapons of mass deception? Footage of alleged nuclear explosions, when analyzed with a critical eye, reveal undeniable evidence of trickery. In much of the early black and white test footage, filmed in the 50s and 60s, and shown on newsreels and fear-mongering films, it is clear we are looking at fake model sets complete with miniature houses, vehicles, and trees. Notice the unrealistic and unnatural perfect rows of disproportionately thin trees. After the flimsy model trees are blown to one side, the film quickly cuts to clips of actual trees in some other location. Similar to how a stunt double changes with the main actor.
It start out Thin and Lizzy and then switch to some big trees. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I got to stop here. Why did it start out Thin Lizzy and it's thin trees? And, like you said, it's not natural for them to be that close and lined up like that unless it's like a tree farm or a small model like, like they make like the shit that was in Beetlejuice upstairs.
The film cuts to clips of actual trees in some other location. Similar to how a stunt double changes with the main actor during the crucial action scene, these clips intersperse or sometimes superimpose footage of models with reality. The first H-bomb test, known as Ivy Mike, looks more like some stop-motion lava lamps than an explosion. Many other supposed nuclear tests appear to mix sped-up footage of sunrises with real explosions to give the effect of a much bigger blast. Footage from Operation Dominic appears to show a sunrise with the brightness slider rising in post-production. Suspiciously, in some videos, the explosions are so violent as to obliterate entire houses in an instant, but yet the camera filming right next to the house survives unscathed and unshook. The blast often comes from behind the camera, and not, as they claim, from a protected location far outside the blast radius. Someone moves the camera just before and during some of the blasts, and the camera is positioned at an oddly unrealistic height. What kind of shielded tower would the camera and cameraman have to be enclosed in to survive such a test? If nuclear bombs actually exist, why would there be
All right, you got to ask yourself if these military guys probably lying. You know what I mean? Probably have to keep this. They're sworn to secrecy. They got to keep this stuff, the lie going, right? So they claim to have their hands in front of their face, folks. Their hands in front of their face, and they could see the shit through that. But yet, these cameras aren't doing it. It's not going through objects. You're not seeing through the house. You're not seeing through that truck-looking thing. Yet a lot of these technology here, people that witnessed it on the Navy ship, claim that you could, that they all could. What's the difference between a camera and our eyes? It's the same deal. I don't understand.
Such a test. If nuclear bombs actually exist, why would there be to fake footage of nuclear explosions? The Trinity and other nuclear test sites were admittedly first loaded with hundreds or up to 1,000 tons of dynamite. Footage exists showing military men stacking gigantic piles of TNT and dynamite at nuclear testing sites. The official reason for this was claimed as, quote, comparative purposes, where the blast from hundreds of tons of stacked TNT would be compared to the nuclear bomb. With each team sent to separate islands, each stacking piles of explosives, but both told that the other island would have the actual bomb, it would be simple to deceive the very men creating the deception. Mushroom clouds are not unique to so-called nuclear weapons, and can be formed with enough TNT, dynamite, regular bombs, and other explosive materials. Later, supposed nuclear tests, like Able, were likely done using very large, but traditional bombs, and the Baker test, done using hundreds of tons of submerged dynamite in a vessel underwater. Nuclear fission occurs by bombarding uranium-238 with neutrons to split the nucleus and create the isotope uranium-235. During this split, mass is lost and converted into kinetic energy, which is known as nuclear fission. If each of those neutrons then goes into another uranium nucleus, causing more fission and many more neutrons, this creates a theoretical process known as an explosive nuclear reaction. Enrico Fermi's famous nuclear chain reaction test was done by stacking massive amounts of graphite and embedding balls of uranium within, so that when the neutrons started flying through, they would be slowed by the graphite, collide with the uranium, release more neutrons, and then those neutrons would continue in a chain reaction pattern. This achievement, which was only detectable by Geiger counter, meant that the fission process could be sustained.
Now, how is he going to expose the Geiger counter? Got a Geiger counter on my hip. Hold on, what's that song? Come on, that old song. Uranium fever.
Plant. Fuel the curiosity. Fuel the day.
Well, I don't know, but I've been told uranium ore is worth more than gold. I sold my cad, I bought me a Jeep, I got that bug and I can't sleep. Uranium fever has gone and got me down. Uranium fever and all around. With a Geiger counter in my hand,
I'm a-going out to take me some government land.
uranium fever has gone and got me down. Well, I had a talk with the AEC and they brought out some maps that looked good to me. And one showed me a spot he said he knowed, so I straddled my Jeep and headed down the road. I reckon I drove about 100 miles down a bumpy road out through the wilds, when all of a sudden I bounced to a stop at the foot of a mountain, didn't have no top. Uranium fever has done it.
Anyway, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but that's great. Uranium fever, nigga. I got your counter in my hand. I thought it was on my hip. I don't know.
In a chain reaction pattern. This achievement, the graphite, collide with the uranium, release more neutrons, and then those neutrons would continue in a chain reaction pattern. This achievement, which was only detectable by Geiger counter, meant that the fission process could be sustained, but in no way proved the possibility of a nuclear explosive chain reaction. In reality, all explosions are gas-related. For an explosive chain reaction to occur, there would need to be an explosive gas created or added. The byproducts of nuclear fission are 94% heat and 6% radiation. No gas whatsoever is produced by nuclear fission, and so there can be no massive destructive blast. Furthermore, to achieve intense heat,
no gas can cause. So this idea that everything's nuclear, I don't know, even though they sprayed nuclear waste right out here where I live, right? A lot of people did just get cancer over time. They did claim three-headed frogs, like their waste was just being sprayed all over fields and near the schools here by trucks, right? All these trees are supposed to be fucked out here, but is that true? Look up Gore, Oklahoma, folks. Look up, what was that? Sequoia Fuels Corporation had something to do with that. Only named after a lot of stuff after that stuff. I don't care. Local news plant story primarily refers to the troubled history of the Sequoia Fuels Corporation facility near Gore, famous for a fatal 1986 accident where uranium hexafluoride, uranium fever, exploded, killing one worker, James Harrison, and injuring dozens, releasing radioactive gas. The plant, which processed uranium for nuclear fuel, had a long history of safety violations, contamination, including on Cherokee Land, and regulatory issues, leading to its eventual closure in '93. They're still there cleaning it up today. Holy shit. Yeah, in Votech, if I wasn't so lazy and distracted, I was supposed to make a documentary on this. I never did. Kerr McGee. That's who it was. Explain this. Where's a nearby? Crescent, Oklahoma. Where's that at? Logan County. Sky High Airport, 44,000 K. I know we had an 85% rule. I bet it doesn't apply if you're Jewish. Anyway, because they don't have to serve. I mean, there is a lot of Jews in prison, but damn, they get out. They get the good lawyers. They may sit there for a while, but come on. Maybe Jews that separated themselves from, being connected, but it's like this secret society everywhere, bro.
fission of gas created or added. There would need to be an explosive gas created or added. The byproducts of nuclear fission are 94% heat and 6% radiation. No gas whatsoever is produced by nuclear fission, and so there can be no massive destructive blast. Furthermore, to achieve intense heat from nuclear fission, millions of atoms need to be split in a chain reaction, which requires a moderator to slow down free neutrons. No such moderator is included in nuclear bombs, and even if it were, there is no test evidence that even this would result in an explosion. Recently declassified minutes of the Manhattan Project's Interim Committee meeting on May 31, 1945, reveal that America had insufficient uranium to build the atom bombs supposedly used on Japan just a few months later. Dr. Compton, director of the Met Lab at University of Chicago, who oversaw production of enriched uranium and plutonium for the bombs, was quoted stating it would take another 3 years to produce the amount needed for the bombs. Yet just over 3 months later, America supposedly successfully produced and deployed 2 on Japan without being tested. Enrico Fermi stated they would need 1/2 to 1 ton of enriched material to create a nuclear bomb. Natural uranium metal contains concentrations of 99% U-238, 0.7% U-235, and 0.3% U-234. Therefore,
I hate to be that guy, but they literally weren't. I don't think they were that popular. I've never heard of the band U2 till a few years ago. They hit the media for a comeback tour, right? Let's look that up. Is that where that name come from? U2. Irish rock band at 6. U2 spy plane, of course. Previously been called Feedback and the Hype. What's that on YouTube 78 for its open-ended meaning, strong graphic appeal. Whatever. Anyway, that's weird.
of 99% U-238, 0.7% U-235, and 0.3% U-234. Therefore, to obtain 1 metric ton of U-235, you need 142.8 metric tons of natural uranium. And for each metric ton of natural uranium, you need approximately 1,000 tons of uranium ore. Supplies of such uranium ore are certainly not unlimited, and especially in the 1940s were in short supply. The Manhattan Project Interim Committee minutes specifically mentioned that even reactor-grade uranium was in short supply and wouldn't suffice. Yet just 3 months later, the bombs were somehow ready and dropped. The footage we were shown of the supposed nuclear blasts at Hiroshima and Nagasaki show what appear to be 2 superimposed smoke plumes atop one another, in an attempt to make the mushroom cloud look larger. Rather than making the blast look bigger, however, it looks more like some secondary blast began mid-air. The footage of the Hiroshima and Nagasaki explosions look very different from the many other test examples shown previously, each of which also looked very different from one another. In reality, Hiroshima and Nagasaki were firebombed, just like Tokyo and many other Japanese cities. When footage of the aftermath is analyzed, it is clear that the destruction is consistent with traditional carpet bombing and not from a single nuclear explosion. If the damage shown in footage from the aftermath of Hiroshima and Nagasaki was actually from these nuclear bombs, there would be a single central circular blast radius showing the most destruction at the center point with gradually less expanding outwards. The debris and direction of destruction should all face outwards from this central location, and there should be an obvious blast crater at the site of impact. In World War II propaganda films, you can see footage of scientists pointing to the exact spot where the nuclear
So they had to destroy all the old buildings in Japan, too. Yeah.
bomb supposedly landed on Hiroshima. Yet the area looks no different than any other, and has no discernible blast crater. The damage immediately around the point of impact is no worse or more pronounced than anywhere else. The destruction found throughout the 2 cities is in fact consistent with traditional firebombing, with all smaller wooden buildings decimated and only a few larger stone and reinforced concrete structures still standing. The propaganda films claim to show buildings with windows blown in one side and out the other, or Hiroshima Bridge having the paint burnt off only one side. But these examples are clearly cherry-picked to give the illusion of a single blast, when the overall destruction is similar to every other firebombed Japanese city. There is also no evidence of long-term radiation damage anywhere in Hiroshima or Nagasaki.
Yeah, no radiation damage. Maybe we'll just look at the footage and pictures of Hiroshima surrounding today. You tell me the population, if that's a population that had to leave because the toxicity is so bad, like Chernobyl, it's so bad, but the Jews want it back. They're kicking people out of eastern Ukraine. No, only Jews beyond this point. Only Jews beyond this point. Sounds to me like they're just going to like claim everything's nuclear waste, but we're the chosen, and they're going to move in there. I don't know. Let me look it up. Current Jewish Oh, very small, because they don't take that fucking bullshit in Japan. Overall, Jewish population in Japan is very small, around 1,000 people. Tokyo being the largest. So they just run Tokyo. Wow, okay, the rural edge of Fukuyama City, Hiroshima, is home to the Holocaust Education Center. So they put a Holocaust Education Center right there at the site where the Jews bombed Japan. Of course, took me 5 seconds. Entirely of Jewish foreigners and expatriates. I don't know how you say that. The Japanese Jewish community. This is the World Jewish Congress. Wow, they got a website. The World Jewish Congress. The ones that declared war on all of us. By the way, if you don't know, that might be my next video. Japan imposes sanctions on Hamas. New research map, Holocaust denial and distortion online. They're not trying to foster peace worldwide, y'all. They have a website. They declared war on us and used the UN that they run to do so. So anyway, folks, we're at war against the Jewish community. Don't let them lie to you on TikTok or wherever you run into a Jew. They declared war on the world here recently in the past month or two. And it's on the UN website.
Is similar to every other firebombed Japanese city. There is also no evidence of long-term radiation damage anywhere in Hiroshima or Nagasaki. According to the experts, there was to be radiation and nuclear fallout for thousands of years, affecting people, plants, animals, and every living thing in the vicinity, causing generational deformities and a veritable death zone. In reality, however, flowers, grass, and other plants started growing back within a month, and radiation levels have dropped in both cities, recovering to normality within years. Hiroshima and Nagasaki are now bustling modern cities, 80 years later, with no remnant of nuclear destruction. The people there are not all born with deformities or chronic ailments, and there is no dangerous radiation or fallout to beware. Radiation exists and remains present in an area after any and every explosion, not just supposed nuclear ones. So if you drop a bunch of bombs or blast a ton of dynamite and bring a Geiger counter, you will certainly register radiation, but it will not linger for centuries or millennia like nuclear radiation is claimed to do. As for the explosions which occurred at nuclear power plants like Chernobyl and Fukushima, these were gas explosions caused by the buildup of hydrogen and not nuclear explosions. In fact, it is impossible for a nuclear explosion to occur at a nuclear power plant. Only gas explosions. Today, in Fukushima, you get more radiation from the backscatter scanners at the airport security gates than you do from their so-called nuclear disaster. The way nuclear power works is essentially just using hot radioactive material to boil water and generate steam, which drives turbines and creates electricity. One of the leading nuclear physicists in America, Galen Windsor, who was responsible for helping set up most of America's nuclear power plants, was a vocal whistleblower on this subject. He said nuclear power is really just the cleanest and most economical way to boil water, and that all nuclear power plants are essentially and practically just steam power plants. In his lecture tours he gave all across the country, Galen Winsor would talk about how he and other early nuclear physicists would regularly hold uranium, plutonium, and radioactive waste with their hands without any ill effects. He quipped about taking swims in the nuclear waste pools to prove they weren't hazardous, and when his colleagues refused to believe him, he began drinking a glass of water from the pools in front of them every day. In footage from his lectures, you can watch Galen open a tiny canister of radioactive material, supposedly dangerous enough to cause an EPA disaster area 1 mile in radius, contaminating everyone in the building. He holds it in his bare hands, runs a Geiger counter over it, which registers off the scale, licks all the radioactive material onto his tongue, tests a Geiger counter again, and swallows it. Galen Winsor did this demonstration for years, with no ill effects, and lived into his 80s. After trying to blow the whistle with his lecture tours, the government confiscated his nuclear material, sent the SWAT team to his house, and began harassing him legally. He was quoted saying, "There is no such thing as nuclear waste, only material created in a nuclear reactor to be recovered and used beneficially. High-level waste is radioactive and self-heating, and so reusable uranium fuel fits that definition. But if you disregard its intrinsic worth, then it would fit the definition of high-level waste. But let's say there is no high-level waste, and only material to be recovered and used beneficially. And what's the low-level waste fiasco? That's an excuse for a federally mandated, non-inspectable disposal system so that organized crime can get rid of any evidence they want, and it can never be dug up again. There are allegedly stainless steel containers buried in concrete under the ocean, boiling with hot radioactive material for 2,000 years. The production, storage, transportation, and disposal of nuclear materials is incredibly expensive and secretive. Protocols for dealing with nuclear waste materials involve allegedly burying it deep into the Earth's bedrock through such expensive procedures. In reality, as Galen Winsor showed, these nuclear materials are not nearly as hazardous or toxic as they are made out to be, and the over-the-top, secretive disposal methods likely double.
You're telling me this guy lived in his 80s and did it every day for how long?
These nuclear materials are not nearly as hazardous as they are made out to be, and the over-the-top, secretive disposal methods likely double as black-budget, black-op covers. It provides the military-industrial complex a never-ending blank check for themselves to dip into taxpayer money. At many times during the nuclear arms race, America spent upwards of $50 million per day on nuclear weapons-related expenses, nearly rivaling NASA's huge budget. It is no doubt that incredibly high-powered ballistics, bombs, and missiles all exist, but the specific claim of nuclear weapons and nuclear explosions, which require fission, a nuclear chain reaction, and result in destruction on a scale far beyond conventional weaponry, is patently false. Nuclear fission simply does not produce any kind of gas necessary for such an explosion, and no moderator to slow down free neutrons is included in nuclear weapons. Declassified documents suggest the American government was years from having enough U-235 to produce the bombs allegedly dropped on Japan. Film analysis of Hiroshima, Nagasaki, and nuclear test footage show countless anomalies pointing towards photo trickery and deceptive wartime propaganda. Radiation levels quickly dropped, and the destruction attributed to 2 nuclear explosions looked no different from the neighboring towns and cities destroyed by aerial firebombing runs. The stories of the little boy and fat man bombs were just the myths necessary to to create the scaremongering Cold War arms race that would soon begin. The threat of any nation being able to push a button and destroy entire cities or countries, perfect, terrifying excuse for America to enter and make war with anyone that supposedly harbors or develops nuclear weapons. Since the early tests, alleged nuclear explosions have continued to get larger and larger, while the payload continues getting smaller and smaller, to the point we are now supposed to believe that they can be carried in a suitcase, teaching generations of children to duck and cover, hiding under their desks, has now instilled fear of a boogeyman, just as bogus as the one under their bed.
Yep, a boogeyman. Don't piss off the Jews or they got nukes. Yeah, but clearly their own documents say they didn't have enough to make a nuclear explosion, by definition. If that's even like, we live in an enclosed system. If there was that much nuclear waste over time, it would collect. If it has nowhere to go, it's going to collect. But clearly Japan, whoever else here where I'm at, let's see. Oh, Chernobyl, you name it, Bikini Atoll, all have people that moved back or that are living there, that's been living there. I can go further into like the Bikini Atoll clips and show you the population, show you how people live there, how nice things look. Doesn't matter. Point is, nukes aren't real. Don't let them scare you with nukes. You know, oh yeah, it's developing nukes. Not real. But Israel won't talk about their nukes program? Yeah, that's that bullshit to get you going back and forth. They're just trying to get us to be pissed at them. You know what I mean? So they can declare war. By the way, the Jews, again, they declared war on us, the world, or the Jewish World Congress. Like, who voted on a World Congress? That means they run the world when they have a World Congress. So they run the world. But you have a Jewish World Congress. Used through the UN, declared, and it even says on the UN website article that that it's the Jewish World Congress that wrote this or whatever, that they declared war upon conspiracy theories, specifically anti-Semitism. Right, we got the best interest for you guys, even though they're killing off everything. This is like the ultimate gaslight right here, and you guys can't believe it. Look at all the major newspapers. They put Judea declares war on Germany. The Jews declared war on Germany because they don't have a word for accountability and they want to keep their sin. It's a pedophile religion. You know, it's a sexual sin, pedophile religion that normalizes it. They don't have a word for sexual assault, pedophilia, or accountability. And you can ask them, and they won't tell you because it doesn't exist. They'll just drop you or whatever. I've talked to Jews for 2 years, and I got former Jews that agree with me. Can't be good in a Jew, Brother Nathaniel. That's because they all defend it. Maybe they're not raping their daughter, but they were probably raped by their dad, their uncle, whatever, or used as somebody to breed babies. Let's see. What else? It's because I attack the Jays all the time. I got to remind people that, you know, it's normalized in the Jewish community. And that's why they don't get charged. They flee to Israel. And now you look at, hang on. We said, okay, we'll just, why are you against the Jews? Why are you against the Jews? Why are you against the Jews? Well, I mean, because all of them. Oh, so every Jew is raping people. No, but they silences compliance. Like, you know, it's like a police department where 90% of them are raping them and raping their co-workers, this, that, and the third, raping people on the side of the road. And the one or two cops that don't say anything, that didn't do it, yeah, it's kind of hard to believe that you weren't a part of it at that point. But that's not but you know what I mean? Doesn't matter. They'll know about it, and they say nothing. Again, I put 2,000 comments of this right here. The biggest newspaper is the Jerusalem Post. 16 for all genders, but can be a low as 14 provided with party consent. And that was changed recently. They used to not have the age gap. Yep. And of course, he won't say that it's normalized. Bro, you will talk about it and say this is crazy. We need to stop these people because it's a disgusting phenomenon, as they say here, but that is Jewish. Look at that. A refugee. There's no criminal. Come on, scroll down. Look, it's freezing up right now. Scroll down. What, you're not going to let me see the articles after this? Scroll down. Here we go. Got no control whatsoever. It's not even refreshing the page. What do you mean page unresponsive, yo? I'm live right now. Of course not. Everything slows down and all my shit stops working when I talk about this topic. I got banned for talking about this topic. Nothing else. Come on. You're going to work. I'm in control. It's already loaded. Come on. Scroll down. We're not doing this crap. Oh, shit. We can turn this off, though. Quit. Stop playing with me. Load. I always put a cat in it. Like, come on, load. Holy shit, Batman. What is going on here? We're not exiting pages. We're going to get this bullshit to load. Like, I don't understand what is going on. Look, this probably quit too. No, we're still live here, but I'm trying to show you all my point that this is mainstream news. That Jews are PDF files, that the highest number of pedophiles getting caught right now are Jews. The Supreme Court of the United States. Israel has become a refugee for pedophiles. Let me do it. So we put over it, including the Supreme Court, or wherever this one is. New York, there it is. What the fuck? Again, you know, the laws about, this is a anti-boycott law, unconstitutional. Andrew Cuomo's aiding and abetting the genocide against Palestinians. New York State's acts of genocide against black people are under federal scrutiny in the case personal representative of the Dormus family versus Benjamin Netanyahu. Oh, so there's a case where there's, what the fuck? Whether the circuit court, district court decision, because they're taking over blacks' homes, they're kicking them out and killing them and rebuilding them and moving Jews in or selling them for the higher price. Some of these homes existed and they owned them since the 70s. Let's see, or before. Whether the circuit court, district court decision, or the second circuit's mandate, court corruption that was established, Chevron versus or Don Ziegler, I don't know. Whether the petitioner has the First Amendment right to advise the Court of Jehovah's viewpoint regarding the Babylonian Talmud's exposal of the worship of God Molech, the god of pedophilia. The Talmud's not that. They all worship this. It's the secret covenant that all Jews are taught from pre-K or whatever, from elementary school, that this is what we do, this is who we are. You gotta lie and gaslight everybody because they all think it's wrong. Fuck yeah, it's wrong. You guys came here and with a big statue, was it the 30s, was it the 60s, right there in Chicago when you're destroying all the buildings? You guys came in with a big old Moloch right here in our country. And ever since, we've been fucked. That was blessing Israel, you fucking dunce. And now, look, we get pedophilia. A place that's not only normalizing it, but legalizing it. Let's continue to see what it's. I haven't read this whole thing. I only read that part. I'm scared to go continue on, There's all that. I don't care. Parties between table contents, table authorities, petition for rich of search here, whatever jurisdiction, opinions below. Let's see. New York State began with the 14th Amendment regarding age and race based on its enforcement of the anti-boycott law. Andrew Cuomo was aiding and abetting a genocide against Palestinians, and New York State's acts of genocide against black people are under federal scrutiny. In the case, personal representative of the Wabash family at L versus Benjamin Netanyahu, the circuit court's and district court decisions on contravention of the Second Circuit's mandate concerning courts corruption that was established in Chevron versus Don Ziegler. The petitioner has the First Amendment right to advise the court of Jehovah's viewpoint. Appendix, Babylonian Talmud, footnote, all this other stuff. Legends of the Jews, coming here, sex with children, by the Talmud rules. History of abuse and organic difficulties, and a convenient sample of 46 ultra-Orthodox males with pedophilia. News punch. I don't know. I think I want to make a sole video on this. I don't want to get any further. Her defying a conspiracy of silence about pedophilia, because they all have to be silent on it. Every Jew TikTok, they sound like little kids, like they're barely 18, they're in college, right? Or in high school, and they're like, oh, you don't know. Is it wrong? Is it wrong? Is it wrong? Y'all are defending it. It's normalized. It's Talmudic, Jewish law. It's, oh, that's not the law. That's not this. That's not that. But this pretty much admits it, that it is. Come on. Well, Israel admits Ethiopian women were given birth control shots. Israel became a refugee for pedophiles, warns advocate for child sex abuse. The truth about prostitution in Israel. Now, I guess we'll just wait and do another video on this document only at the Supreme Court, guys. Let's go back to, let's type in Israel pedophilia and see what comes up. Oh, there the fake crap comes up. There's that one. Oh. Now they're blaming the ultra-Orthodox. It's all of them. There's CBS News again. I'm tired of this. Oh, it's these rabbis offending Judy. This is Judaism.
New Hunt for 360 waistband versus
A CBS News investigation heard a loophole that allows accused and convicted by moving to Israel. So Ian Lee has been following this for more than a year, and he traveled to Israel for the investigation. He worked with a group that tracks people accused of sex crimes, which estimates dozens of Americans have used this loophole.
So, he's 6'2".
We are on a stakeout looking for this man, Jimmy Julius Caro, 48 years old and wanted on charges of
Really? The Talmud says, look at that guy. That's what a lot of these Jews look like. They got the same, like right here, the same fucked up teeth. They don't take care of themselves. This guy's a creep. They look just like any other white creep. They dress creep like. They own the identity of dressing like a creep and gaslighting you that they're not a creep. Same the worst. You know what I'm saying? Talking about the way that they shave their whole head and leave just this right here. That's creep. Nobody else fucking does that. That's gross. It's not attractive. And your average low-end Jew like Aiden Ross probably won't ever do that because he knows he's not getting no bitches.
assaulting a 9-year-old girl in Oregon back in 2000 and a 5-year-old in Israel in 2001, considered in 2000, and a 5-year-old girl in Israel in 2001. He's considered dangerous. But these photos are a few years old, so we don't know if he'll look the same. He remains elusive. Previous attempts to capture him have failed.
Obviously, the fear that he would somehow figure out that anyone's looking for him and bolt. He just called his number.
Shauna Aronson got a tip that Caro's expected at this clinic near Tel Aviv.
Who's going to call?
She's with JCW, Jewish Community Watch, an organization that hunts down accused pedophiles who flee Israel.
A fake-ass organization because we caught that it's y'all's religion. If you're not addressing what we're going to have to make a separate video on the Supreme Court, the Talmudic permissible parts of pedophilia. You know what I mean? They're pretty much normalizing it in the religion. That literally, you guys put your flag is the god of pedophilia. Like, hold on, the star of Ripam is of Moloch. Yeah, bullshit.
From the U.S., exploiting a process called law of return,
Jewish
whereby
American
any Jewish
pedophiles.
person
Not
to Israel
American pedophiles that just want to flee, but it said in the headline, Jewish American pedophiles, not Muslim American pedophiles, not Native American pedophiles, not even white people, which you guys are white people. So you can't tell if you guys were raised or thinking you were Jewish or just decided to say you're Jew to avoid this. It's both probably. But the fact is, Jewish American pedophiles on the biggest network in America, Colombian family Jews.
and automatically gain citizenship.
The ease with which pedophiles seem able to use this law as an escape route haunts victims like Mendy Hawk, who says he was abused from age 8 by a teacher at an Orthodox Jewish school in Los Angeles.
So your classroom is right here.
Whoa,
How does
they
it feel
wouldn't
being
do
back?
that. They do it
I
at
was
the
very
school.
anxious and,
It's
stress
normalized.
coming back here. A lot of memories coming through my mind.
Memories of his alleged abuser, Mordechai Yom Tov, who taught Hebrew studies when he was
Mordecai. He had a big bird in the beak. He was the bird, and his name was Mordecai. Maybe he was Jewish. Regular show. I don't know. I never thought of that.
just 8 years old.
So in the beginning, he just outside of my pants, and then I would say about 3 to 4 months later, he started going like in.
Reaching down your
Yeah,
pants.
it's reaching down.
Why did you feel like you couldn't tell anyone?
I was scared. I was ashamed.
Because it's Jewish law. And if you say it's wrong, like literally majority of Jews will say, what the fuck's wrong with you? This is allowed. This is our life. Hello? He can't say that though. He looks off camera when he has to answer that question. His eyes go to the left. I don't know.
Why did
His
you
eyes
feel
go
like you
over.
couldn't tell anyone?
I was scared. I was ashamed. I just didn't know
The Talmud, I'll just say it for you.
what
The
people
Talmud,
think of me, the whole situation.
Yom Tov pled guilty in 2002 to sexually abusing and committing lewd acts against 3 other boys. He served jail time, but when he was released, he violated his probation and, according to JCW, fled to
year.
Israel with help from individuals within the Orthodox Jewish community. JCW tracked Yom Tov down and confronted him with a hidden camera in Jerusalem, where he admitted to illegally fleeing the United States with help and using a fake passport to enter Israel.
I was supposed to stay for 5 years in the same city. I was supposed to, it's usually on the side of yourself, and it's supposed to go every 2 weeks.
it's always the ones wearing this get up right here. So at this point, it's safe to say if you come up, if I see you, you're wearing that, you're probably a pedophile and don't even know it because it's normalized in your religion. Holy shit. He pled guilty. I don't even know. They probably entered a plea on his behalf. But he pled guilty. Only 1 year. Crazy. I can get 20 years for burning an Israeli flag. He gets 1 year for religiously raping a student.
Didn't want to, but I realized I left within a week later.
He had this message for his victims.
I'm very, very, very sorry.
The other person in this video is Mayor Seawald, the founder of Jewish Community Watch. He tells CBS News Yom Tov's case isn't uncommon in the Orthodox community.
The Orthodox, like there's different Jews. The Bible doesn't identify different types of Judaism. This is people that want to keep all the other sin, but they don't want to get caught being associated with this sin. Because now they realize that, oh shit, the rest of the world thinks of it wrong. Now I look at it from their point of view, it's kind of wrong. No, y'all are legalizing it. And that was the headline used by the Jerusalem Post. I don't care about that little, oh, it's just the Orthodox. It's Judaism. There isn't no Judaism that rejects the Talmud. Just internet, TikTok, they get 7K a post, college girl, whatever. Or people that aren't even from Israel, that don't even study, whatever, you know what I'm saying? No, it's not rejected. To reject the Talmud means to reject being Jew. The only ones rejecting lights hitting the ceiling like that and tripping me out. But the only Jews rejecting the Talmud are former Jews that don't identify or associate with Jews at all. Like Brother Nathaniel, Catholic priest. You can't be good and a Jew, because while this guy's making Americans look like Jews are standing against it, you're wearing a pink yarmulke this time, ironically. It's only for entertainment. Do I need a...
Everything that's going on in the Catholic Church right now around the world, the exact same thing happens in our community. The rabbis say it's, you know what, he promised he's going to go for therapy, he's never going to do it again. Boom, he's in another community. A few years later, he's at the same...
Yeah, because they all fucking do it. And the rabbis protect the other rabbis. It's Jewish law. There's no age limit in Jewish law. Just currently the Israeli law, that country only, which is Talmudic law anyways, recently upped it to 16 in the legal age to like 17 or whatever.
Same thing, we hear more allegations that the person continued to abuse children.
And often, those abusers end up in Israel. Rabbi Yehuda Oppenheimer says he unwittingly helped Caro.
Oppenheimer? So we can still... By the way, Oppenheimer, he was Jewish, the famous one.
Escape. There was nothing that raised any red flags up to the point where he was...
Look how he looks the same. He looks like a creep. He's one of them, bro. Holy shit balls.
moving to Israel.
Well, I wish I could say that, but unfortunately I can't say that. So he had violated his parole, and now they were looking for him. He said that there was something in the past that had happened when he was young, but nothing had ever happened since. I've changed, and I'm a different person now, but that helped me. I felt that I could trust him. So I wrote him a letter, and he bought a ticket, and he left.
You had an idea. It started yesterday. What was it?
I thought I could trust him, but pedophiles don't change, right? You're not seeing in here? He thought he could trust him and flew him out knowing that this nigga admitted to it. God damn.
Caro is accused of abusing more children when he to Israel.
What was that like for you when you found that out?
Punch to the gut. It was very painful.
Rabbi Oppenheimer says the reason he came forward is to shine a light on the process of accused pedophiles fleeing.
Let Oppenheimer say that. Cut him off, and he had to say, well, he said, red flag.
Help ensure it doesn't happen again. Back at the stakeout, an ambulance pulls up and a man steps out. It's Caro.
That was definitely him. Oh my God. Okay.
The police are called and eventually arrive. His days on the run are over as he's led away.
Did you assault the girl in the United States? No. Did you flee Israel because you assaulted the girl in the United States? Have you ever assaulted any girls in Israel? Do you know that you're wanted by Interpol?
Yeah.
There's relief as police escort him to their car.
Yep, same old pedophile reaction. He looks just like any pedophile in America, a white guy. Y'all are white, right? You got all the characteristics like my white dad does. You burn in the sun, you got the same hair and beards. You're white. So, a group of white people out here that hates to be white. Self-hating Jew, right? But like they hate being white. Maybe they hate themselves because they identify as something they know is just like a religion and a culture, but not a race. And the cops like they're going to do something. No, they've been ordered by, like, get the fuck out of here. This is fake.
This marks the end to a months-long manhunt.
Oh my gosh! Can I give you a hug?
I think I need to tell you.
Yeah.
Okay. We found him, and he was just arrested.
What?
He was just arrested.
Thank you. Wow. Oh my gosh.
Amuna, not her real name, is the person on the other end of the line. She was a little girl when Caro entered her life.
I was 4 or 5 years old. My mother was on bed rest.
I'm not buying this. They allow the all of them are IDF, the 90% of the country. We can play the clips again and again and again of the RDF soldiers bragging about, oh yeah, we ripped your dog. you check on my family, so I'm or whatever, you know, he's like, oh yeah, I kill a victim too. It's normalized. I don't care. This is a stunt to make it look like, oops, sorry, but that don't represent the Jew. No, that's your life. This is bullshit. We're going to decipher it because it's bullshit.
My father's a rabbi, so he wasn't really home. He used to come to our house. We used to play games, and then it became sexual. I'm going to give you a cookie because you do it so nicely. It's all about the cookie. It's all about lying, and it's all about being so evil to a little child.
Oh my God.
He also threatened me. He would kill my parents. He would choke me. He would hold me.
I'm that it's not, that this is just a fringe stunt here. You know what I'm saying? And look, I don't even know because they're taking this shit down where to look. But other than maybe they took it off TikTok too, I think. Instagram, they took the search. All right, so ADFs. Let's just type that and see if it comes up. No, this is some fucking bullshit. Oh my God. What was that guy's name? My brain's not working. Is the Palestinian U.S. president? You just watch that guy for 5 minutes and it debunks this thing that there's Israelis against this crap. Or that they're like, you know, they're not talking about how this is normalized. No. There it is. I'm spelling it wrong. Literally the first thing that fucking, come on. There we go. And this was a month. Holy crap. Let's just watch that. Let's start out with a month ago. I'm done with this fucking second crap.
Hi.
Show you the behaviors and what about us here.
Hi, where are you from?
Already that guy's disgusted. Oh God, this guy. Oh, well.
I'm from Israel, mashallah.
Okay, I'm from Palestine.
I know there's no such thing as Palestine. You live in the USA. Go to your
red flag.
Muslim
Deny. Palestine existed. They have passports, coins. They still have a Ministry of Health in Gaza. The West Bank is not being discussed. Jordan let them in as citizens. You spit on them and beat them up. We can play those clips.
Countries go back to the came from.
I'm from Palestine. I can't go back.
I really want to save the PDF for a video and just show you that their behaviors. What the average Israeli and IDF soldier act and talk like. Of course, some U.S. soldiers that were Jewish or whatever were doing that during Iraq. Yeah, let's blow up another family. A lot of them said, that's wrong. My brothers are evil. And they threw their shit down. What was that, America Now or Democracy Now or somebody? I don't know. Who cares? Point is, let's get into this. This is how they all act. We'll continue to play this shit. Screw doom scrolling. This is important. This is their behavior. This is Israel. This is the number one topic. We're going all over the place. I'll try to get in some other topics since they declared war on us because we've caught them. Instead of, because they don't have a word for accountability, they'd rather just get the UN and the Jewish World Congress to declare war on us, even though they act like fucking demons. Demons! Mute up here so you can hear it.
Go to your Muslim country from.
I'm from Palestine. I can't go back to where I came from because we're being genocided, ethnic cleansed, and occupied.
You know what genocide is?
Yes, it's exactly what's happening in Gaza. It starts with the intent of genocide, and Israel has that intent.
I wish there was a genocide in Gaza. And
you wish there was?
Of course, you can record that, man. You don't f with the Jews, man. If you f with the Jews, you get something instead, bro.
You want children in Gaza to be killed?
Of course, man, because they want us to be so I don't give a fuck about all these motherfuckers, man. The elderly people, the little children, because when they will grow up, they will become like you, man.
Like me.
Brainwashed.
So do you want me to be
What? And you too, because you doing bad propaganda for the world. You're lying. All you do, you're lying.
So you're saying what I do is propaganda, even though you just explicitly said you want to kill all Palestinian children?
Yeah, but that's not propaganda. I'm speaking from my soul, from my heart, man.
That's from your heart?
Oh, that's from his heart and soul, the seed of Satan, folks. Matthew 25. Matthew 23, maybe, twice the children of, or they're the children of hell. And when these pastors come over, touch the wall to convert, they become a proselyte, making them twice the children of hell than the Jews. Do you not understand, Christians? Matthew 23, here it is. Oh!
Explicitly want to kill all Palestinian children?
Yeah, but that's not propaganda. I'm speaking from my soul, from my heart, man.
That's from your heart? From your heart. Your heart wants to kill Palestinians?
To do justice. Don't f with the Jews, bro.
Your heart wants to kill Palestinian children?
Of course.
Babies in incubators. You want to kill Palestinian children?
Fuck you, man.
Do you want to kill me?
You, your daughter, your son, your wife, everybody of your family, and you can record that to get all of your subscribers and stuff. Fuck you all of the lefties, all the wall.
When the Jews are famous in Stranger Things, the main character is Jewish. Right? Or the biggest show on Netflix right now. Am I missing something here? And he's all over the place. He laughs about it there before he says that. This isn't even the worst one. This is just the one that some of the new stuff I haven't seen yet. We'll just keep playing it. This is Israel. This is the actual Israel, the majority that spits and beats up Christians and kills them. 200 million Christians, right? I think we're over 100 million now, close to 200 now, doing all the numbers and the current ones they're doing today, all financed by a country that was founded on we need a place to have our sin without people telling us it's wrong. So yeah, I don't believe that CBS News, they put that front on for CBS News because the Jews own Colombian Broadcasting, and it's so obvious that they had to report on it, but they had to make it look like there's a Jewish pedophile watch. I'm not believing that. Because the former Jews say I don't believe that shit. That are my friends that I talk to. They say, no, that's a crock to make it look, it's normalized. Maybe there is somebody that wants the benefit of the doubt, and maybe like one person that thinks they can still be Jew and make them right, but there is no good Jew. The Bible says that. Brother Nathaniel says that. Doesn't say, you got this post-Scofield, different one, whatever, but no, it says he only came in violent. He didn't come violent towards the hoes, the murderers, anybody that disrespected or didn't believe, but he came in violent with whips against the goddamn Jews. Hallelujah. This is disgusting.
Fuck you, the European Union. Fuck you all, man. You don't even know in what world do you live in. Come to Syria. Why don't you talk about Syria?
Were you in the IDF? Were you ever in the IDF?
Everybody was in the IDF in Israel.
Did you kill Palestinians?
Unfortunately not. I'm only a driver, but if I could, I would run on every Palestinian baby with my truck, man. F them all, man. They're spoiled. You all fucked up, and you too, man. Go to Palestine, to Hebron. I will personally meet you, bro. I will show you everything, and then I will bury your body, bro. Just burn body. Russians in Ukraine, same, bro.
Yeah.
So that's what they're using.
You have 3 million.
Yeah. 3 million subscribers. That's what's going on. So Home TV is what they're using. kind of like ohm, like the ohm, or measuring ohms. Like it's weird.
3 million idiots who fight your bullshit. They've never been to Israel, but they say about the Zionists that want to kill somebody. Fuck you, man. Fuck you. We got
You're okay with babies? Are you okay with Palestinian babies?
I'm trying to answer you. You just taken that sentence from the whole context, but you must.
There's no context to run over Palestinian babies. You just said you want to run over Palestinian babies?
Of course, that's the.
You are evil. You are evil.
Yes, bro. I'm really evil, and I'm honest. I'm honest with you, not like you telling.
Are you proud? Are you proud to be a genocidal maniac and someone that has every screw loose in their head? Are you proud to be an animal?
First of all, I don't call myself an animal. I call myself as a justice fighter. Next time,
is it justice to babies and children?
Of course.
Is it justice to hospitals and schools and refugee camps and to level 80% of Gaza to the ground?
Come on, bro.
You are Islamophobic. You are a genocidal freak. You are evil. Your society is evil, and you need help.
Proud Zionist.
You're a proud Zionist. Proud Zionist. Yeah. Do you, if you had a button where you could kill every Palestinian if you clicked it, would you click it?
Yes, of course. The Muslim, the Islam is cancer, bro. You are cancer. Your religion is cancer. You don't do that fucking eyebrows, bro. You know what I'm talking about.
But you want to kill me?
You're doing something worse. You're spreading propaganda, and somebody will listen to you. That's why you have to be killed first.
I have to be killed.
So your propaganda won't get to their ears.
But I have to be killed.
Of course, so you won't speak too much bullshit.
Dude, okay, hold on, wait. What's your name, real quick? What's your name, just so I can talk to you about what's your name?
My name is David, bro.
Okay, what's your last name, so I can refer you to you by your last name? How old are you?
32.
32. Where do you live in Israel?
I live in Ashdod. It's 20 kilometers from Gaza.
Oh, okay. Okay. What do you do for a living? What do you do for a living?
I drive a truck.
You're a truck driver?
Also, yeah.
And you're David, and you're 32, and you live 20 kilometers near Gaza, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, bye. I had no other questions for him, and I was like pretty speechless to everything I heard. I don't know what I just saw. I don't know what that was. Pure evil. There is no explanation for that other than
doesn't save and my stream's cut out. I think I'm just going to stream right here on Ohm and just show you guys. I'm going to simulcast it here now that I can do both on my DJ Dyko 2 channel like I'm doing now and the Revolt radio channel. I think we're just going to we're going to talk about certain things, and then instead of just doom scrolling on Instagram, I think we're going to do what he does. I want to interview these fucking maniacs and not just be a Palestinian doing it, but be a white Native American, someone else here in America doing it. Again, this guy would have a home. I'm tired of you defending immigration. Let me cook immigration real quick. What's wrong in these countries that they have to migrate in the goddamn first place? The Jew. Kick them out when they been kicked out 109 times. So now they're trying to move everybody everywhere to justify it. But most of them from these places have to come here, and we don't have the room for it. So it's about time we start saving their home and kicking the kikes out from occupation. Come on, Michael Jackson knew what to do. He was dressing up in a similar style, inspired by that man. And yet you Christians are like, but the 6 million that was lowered to 100 or 1 million, but Red Cross said 271K, and now Pierce says 12 million. Oh. But 100 million Christians, and you Christians don't even flinch, don't even care about your own kind. History lesson. Fucking bullshit. That is crazy. Leaked Israeli ambassador video making genocidal comments. In the Austrian police raided the house of the man who leaked it. Am I still unmuted? We can watch that too, how every country is going after us. The video disturbs Zionists in high places. We might have to do that before we continue with this.
Than pure evil. Unfortunately, I have been met with that. I mean, this is not the first time an Israeli has said those things to me, or a Zionist in general. I have been messaged death threats, things like that. Palestinians usually do get messages, those types of things from Israeli Zionists. That just happens all the time. I mean, am I surprised? No, I'm not. Not at all. Not one bit. Totally honest. It's typical. We all know that Zionists think this way. It's just rare that we hear it just directly to like your face like that. You know what I mean? And that's why I do these types of streams is to. You're too kind calling him evil. Yeah, I definitely think so as well. I mean, I don't know what word there is to call him. I don't know what else to call him. Like, evil is being too kind. If I'm being honest, you are correct. Calling him evil is way too nice. Sorry that you guys had to see that, to be honest. He deserves to be one of the first people headed to The Hague. He needs to be one of the first people. I mean, the guy openly said he wants to run over Palestinian babies. A lot of people like to sugarcoat those types of things, but he openly said, explicitly said, he wants to run over Palestinian babies. He said if he had the chance, he would run over every Palestinian baby. That is the words, those are the words that came out of his mouth. Disgusting, evil, and you know, terroristic. What he deserves will come his way. He will get what he deserves.
On my radio too.
I don't have to wish it. I do not have to hope for it. I'm gonna post that video, that interaction as a video on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, on TikTok. And when I do, I need you guys to share it and show everyone this clip. Okay? I'm gonna make it like a vertical so you can share it that way, and I'm also going to make it horizontal on YouTube so you can share it that way. Like we need people to see these sort of these things, okay? So
I'm trying to contain myself. These people are evil. They've normalized genocide. They gotta just kill the world. They gotta rape the world. Pedophilia is normalized. Talmud permits it. The highest sanctuary, the highest place of registered sex offenders, guys.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, where are you from?
From Israel.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I know you from, I saw you on TikTok.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm from Palestine.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, what do you think about my videos?
I mean, I don't support you really because you support Palestine, you know.
What's wrong with supporting Palestine?
I don't really understand why you support terrorism, you know.
I support the children that are being killed right now and the hospitals that are being bombed. And I don't like that. I support them, and I think that they should stop being killed and bombed and genocided. Don't you think Israel should stop doing that?
I think that Gaza and Palestine needs to give us back the hostages, you know.
Okay. Yeah. Do you think Israel bombing Gaza is helping or no?
Israel bombing Gaza is helping. I don't know if it's helping, but I know that's making Palestine a bit more scared. So maybe now they will want to give us back the hostages. You know? Even if they're dead, you know, even if it's bodies, we want the bodies.
Okay. Do you know a lot of these bodies that were killed, these hostages, you know, that turned into just dead bodies, happened because of Israel's bombing campaigns in Gaza?
Yeah, it's facts that some of them did die because of Israel, but you, you know, I can't really say nothing about the army because I wasn't there. I will be there in like 2 years or 1.5 years.
You can still
Right now, I
criticize your,
cannot.
your government and your army for
Yes.
killing your own hostages and children in Palestine and bombing hospitals, schools, and refugee camps. I know you weren't there, but were you there on October 7th? No, you weren't. And you criticize Hamas for what they did, right? So why can't you do the same and offer us the
Yeah.
same amount of
Can you tell
you
me?
know?
Can you tell me why would just and the terrorism of Palestine just will break into our country?
I think my Instagram's blowing up where I just straight up called it a pedophilic religion. And why are y'all still trying to gaslight me? It's not. I hope to God it fucking blows up. Nope, 100 views a fucking post. Nope, 122. Nope, it's not blowing the fuck up like the other one. They got it censored. Fucking got. Come on! No likes. Since I got all these likes, where are they? 20 plus, 30 plus, 100 plus. Oh, it was the other one. 58 likes. The one before that. $2.1 thousand likes. 16 people shared it or put it on their story. Let me put it on my stories. Make sure it's up there and try to get it to go even further. You think they would get 2,000 followers? Nope, nobody followed. Of course not. I don't care if they do, but damn. My other post hit 1,000. They got me censored here. I don't know. Of course, that one right before I started ranting about it and had to make 5 parts. Come on, y'all are making the wrong videos fucking viral. Of course, that military guy said the exact same thing from that fucking movie.
Were you there?
Take people and kill people.
Were you there?
My father was there.
Were you there?
I wasn't there.
Well, according to your logic, you can't really say anything about it because you weren't there, right?
My dad was there.
Yeah, but you weren't. So I'm trying to be consistent. I mean, you should at least be consistent with your logic, right? You're saying you can't really judge what Israel did to their own hostages in Gaza because you weren't there and you didn't see it happen. But you also weren't there on October 7th and you didn't see that happen and you're still judging Hamas. Do you see how that doesn't make any sense and that's not consistent at all?
Why would terrorism break into our country and shoot
Didn't
us?
happen.
Oh, that's a good question.
Take hostages.
Sure, I have an answer to that.
This is my question.
Okay, cool, and I have an answer. It's because of Israel's occupation, Israel's oppression, Israel's apartheid and ethnic cleansing campaigns that they've been doing since 1948 and even before that with their terrorist Zionist groups, Ergan Haganah and Lihi, right? Which was before 1948. So this has been going on for nearly a century now. This didn't just start on October 7th. What happened on October 7th and groups like Hamas are simply byproducts to what Israel's been doing.
Yes, but you know that this is not an. It's facts that Israel and Gaza is not in the best condition. You know. Yes, but if they wouldn't bomb us and get into our country, we wouldn't take their water, and we wouldn't give them less food. You know.
Yeah,
Because
well,
it's facts.
but
Israel gave
before
them water.
That's why I'd hate to be in school right now with these beliefs. If this blew up, and I'm in school and I have to debate this crap, they'd be calling the cops on me and my family and calling me a Yahtzee. It would hit the news. Local kid has Nazi beliefs and is trying to promote them and debate his classmates and teachers and other schools. Even though Ashkenazi Nazi is Jewish, 95% government that was Jew in Germany, and 150,000 Jewish militaries in the Nazi regime. Ashkenazi Jew. I'm tired of this crap.
Gave them food
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
electricity.
So do you think it's okay for for Israel to collectively punish 2.3 million Palestinians, nearly half of which being children, for a small group's action? Do you think that's okay? They cut off water.
Bro, you got to think about it, cuz. What do they teach over there in what they call in Talmud, what they call Torah class? It's Talmud class.
Electricity and whatnot for the whole population of Gaza, which is over 2 million people, including 1 million children, for what Hamas did on October
If his dad sees that, he's probably going to beat the shit out of him.
7. Do you think that's fair?
I don't know if it's fair that all of Gaza population is getting now less food or less water, but I know that the Gaza population needs to.
Do you know that's collective punishment, which is illegal under international law?
To get on their head because from their country they entered and killed people.
So you're saying because what Hamas did on October 7th, it's okay to take food and water away from children?
I did not say that okay, but I did say.
Finally, a Jew with some sense. Everyone's like, yeah. Thank God. There's one or two of you guys, but the majority, most of y'all just conform to the authority. That's why he's like, well, I got to be careful of what I say.
That
you kind of did
get a punishment.
They should
get a punishment. I don't know if it's water and food.
The children should be punished.
Water and food.
Hold on. The children should be punished.
All of Gaza population.
Why? That's collective punishment. That's illegal under international law. That's also like morally bankrupt.
So why is the international law isn't doing anything for Israel?
I mean, you should have seen the ICJ hearing that South Africa had, and I mean they ruled this as a plausible genocide. The ICJ, the highest court in the world. So they are trying to do things, but Israel's not listening. Now
So let's just do a history lesson. They were taking over all of Europe, kicked out of 109 places. Even in 1862, they were kicked out of America. General Grant, whatever. Even though this place was founded on Jews, they were expelled. And then they took over Germany. Such a small percentage ran everything: the media, the art, all of it. He's the one guy that stood up. It wasn't the German. It wasn't the government. I mean, yeah, the Germans went along. They knew what they had to do, but nobody was killing Jews. They were killing themselves. But, let's say, oh, come on. So the Jews, 95% government, he stood up against them, and they declared war on him. The people stood up and said, hey, go somewhere else with that sin, with the Talmud, that they were burning Talmuds. And, so now you got to see, okay, the little bits that did die were natural causes, or they were sacrificed by Jewish militaries of the German military. There's a big picture of these Jews gathered around with their Talmudic little candle thing, their candelabra, whatever the fuck that shit's called, from Hanukkah, which is only mentioned in the Talmud, which cooks their holiday around Christmas time. It cooks everything. That may not be to them the number one or the biggest holiday. It's the most recognized holiday because as a kid, you're raised, you're like, oh yeah, Hanukkah gets presents like 7 days or whatever, It's literally what other religions, or if you ask kids or ask us, what other holidays do you know of around this time? Well, the first one people are going to think of is fucking Hanukkah, bro. What's the first Jewish holiday that you can think of? What's the biggest? I'll say, of course, it's got to be Hanukkah, right? Because it's the most known. They don't claim that, but that's what I'm saying. It's only from the Talmud. Now, either Christians need to start celebrating Hanukkah and raping kids and convert to Jew, or we need to treat them like the seed of Satan they are. Because, I mean, if you can't, you have to sit there and be like, yeah, still all the Gaza needs to die even though it's wrong. It's normalized for them to be like that. And even the occasional little bit of light comes in. But I was told, all the brainwashing comes and overlaps that, folks.
Your logic, right? Because Israel's been occupying Palestinians, it's okay for October 7th to happen because, they deserve that punishment. AKA collective punishment, right? So is October 7th okay because of what Israel did on October 6th by killing a 19-year-old Palestinian in the West Bank? An Israeli settler, illegal under international law, did that. So it is okay for October 7th to happen because of what Israel's been doing before that. Yeah? Is that your logic? I'm just trying to use your logic. Right? It just doesn't make any sense to you, does it?
Like smirk and laugh.
Yeah.
They're like,
so why does Israel bomb hospitals in Gaza? Can you tell me?
No pun intended, but all you Jews are cooked. I've been interviewing you guys for over a year. You're cooked. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Their accent gets real heavy when they get triggered. Oh, Gaza. Hold on. Why are you saying Gaza? Like you're Muslim now. All of a sudden you're Arabic. Gaza. You don't know what you're talking. No other Jew in the world talks like that, but you motherfuckers. It's funny, he interviews a lot of them. Their dad, they'll be like, oh, my mom, my dad's Germany. I'm from Germany, German accent. Again, clearly he's German, but not to say that there's not a lot of white people that weren't really German that were taken over saying they were Jew. A lot of Germans converted to Jew too. Because they knew the secret covenants, the secret oaths, the secret agreements, the secret sexual sin that's normalized. The fact that 61% of Israeli men on mainstream news, that's a deflated number, of course, don't think that forced sex is a crime. 41% of Israeli women, and all the Jews prepare it their that's their headquarters, right? It's Talmudic. It's their religion. That's why they do it and get away with it, but that's why you won't hear a Jew go, yeah, that's wrong, I was raped, and I don't like it, I don't agree with rape, or they're former Jew. Why is that? Because if they were actively, they would compromise their religion by saying such. You see this, that, and the third, the Jewish community watch, that's a fucking crock of shit. You interview all these everyday Jewish people in Israel that were probably all as a kid, right, normalized, probably still to this day, they won't talk about it at all, let alone they won't say it's wrong. They won't provide examples where, oh yeah, one of my friends was raped by a rabbi and we're trying to get them, it's wrong. Because no, they're not trying to get them. It's not wrong to them. They don't have a word for sexual assault. I don't think they have a word for pedophilia even. And they definitely don't have a word for accountability, and everybody knows.
Me?
They don't.
They don't. They've bombed over 20 hospitals.
They don't.
Okay.
They bomb the hospitals after they have information that there is something under the hospital, and we send a message that we are going to bomb the hospital.
So do you bomb hospitals in Gaza or not? Because you just said they didn't, and now you're saying we do, but we warn them.
We don't do this because we want. Because we need.
So does Israel bomb hospitals in Gaza?
Yes, because we need to. Because there is something that's dangerous for us under that hospital.
You just said they didn't, and now you changed your story?
It's not they didn't. They are not.
I know they did.
For fun. It's not just for fun.
Okay, but what I'm saying is like
it's for safety for our country.
Oh, okay. Is it because Hamas is inside of the hospitals?
I did not say that inside the hospitals.
Oh,
they're the underground hospital.
Under the hospital. So why are you bombing the hospital then? I'm a little confused.
Where will we?
Why do the kids got to die if they're unverified underneath it? Why would they be underneath a goddamn hospital? Only thing, like in America, I mean, they got basements down there contracted with child services to kidnap kids. Verified that that's what the Obamacare was solely for, that when you sign up for it, boom, they start tracking you and you get stalked, knowing or unknowing, by their kidnappers till the day comes, either your kid goes missing or this, that, and the third. But verified that by David Strait and others, that they have contracts on paper to put these kids at parts of the basements under these big hospitals. again, you know, back to that, we abandoned all of our children, Foundling Hospital, a safe place, and all fire, police, and whatever was a safe place to abandon a baby. But hospitals, even.
Could we bomb?
Wouldn't you do a ground invasion and get them through the tunnels, which is where they're at, is what you're saying? Why would you bomb the actual hospitals where there are doctors, medics, babies, and incubators, patients, you know what I mean?
We send a message to Gaza that we're going to bomb the specific hospital.
Yeah, but there's a lot of, you know, amputees in Gaza. I think they have the highest amount of children amputees in Gaza. What, they can't walk, they have no legs anymore. What about the babies in incubators? They're babies, they can't do anything. What about the patients that need medical help and they need to stay in those hospitals and be treated by those doctors? Not everyone can leave in the split of a second, right? They can't do that. So is it okay to bomb hospitals in Gaza? That's my question.
Sorry.
I'm trying to think if it's okay because that doesn't sound okay. But
Why do you? Yeah, it doesn't. Why do you have to think about it? You guys are the smartest and most militarized army in the world, so-called, right? So why?
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. Great. So why don't you guys do a ground invasion? You guys are so smart and you know how to precisely attack. Haniya, you know, when he's in a little house. But you come on, and you can't. You're bombing relentlessly in Gaza. 80% of Gaza is flying to the ground. I mean, it's crazy. But hold on, I have a question. Okay. Let's say there was a Hamas soldier inside of a hospital in Gaza. Is it okay for Israel to bomb that?
Made a meme right now with it wasn't even a Mexican lady. It said all caps, all capital letters. The White House verified, checkmarked, official TikTok. Daily reminder: the deportations will continue. 91,000 likes. This is this is just unprofessional, to be honest. And they used the Home Alone where he looks at the ooh and drops the frame, and they got this. Let's see. I can't tell if that's a Mexican or it looks like a big native person to me. That is crazy. The White House. So PDF, what is it? Bands running the White House TikTok account. Yeah, nobody in the comments is buying that. Literally the first thing that comes up. That's crazy. Quit.
Hospital to get rid of Hamas, but they also kill patients and doctors and medics.
Wait. Can you say the question again?
Yeah.
I do not understand.
Yeah. So let's say in Gaza there was Hamas soldiers inside of the hospital. Inside, not under it.
Gaza, Hamas. Okay.
Inside of the hospital. Okay. And then Israel bombs that hospital. Is it okay for Israel to bomb the hospital because there's Hamas soldiers inside of the hospital?
Yes, but we do need to give them a warning and let them know we're going to bomb the hospital.
Okay, but you know they haven't done warnings every single time, right? They've bombed hospitals without warning.
We did. No.
Stop
No,
the Jesus
you can look it up.
crucifixion. This is the newest bullshit. Stop the Jesus crucifixion hoax. Israel and the Jewish people are innocent. Charlie Kirk exposes the lies about Israel. Jesus is not Palestinian. Jews and Christians forever unite. Watch, I'll get deleted saying that Jerusalem Post headline in the comments.
You can look it up. They have done bombings of hospitals in Gaza without warning. If there is a Hamas soldier in an Israeli hospital, in a Jewish hospital in Israel.
Hamas.
Okay. Do you have a hospital near you? Is there a hospital next?
I think we're just going to start on my DJ channel just interviewing Palestinians. I mean, interviewing Israelis.